All right. So, most common mistake men are making is thinking that being Mr. Nice Guy is what's going to be attractive. And
Whoa.
that's the most common mistake that men are making. Because here's the thing, being nice, it's great to treat people well. It is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But there's nothing inherently attractive about being nice. For instance, let's say for instance, right, let's take, what's her name now? Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Ariana Grande is known for stealing women's husbands. Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she is.
Wow.
Like, apparently, like women's husbands and boyfriends. Apparently, it's a thing that she does.
Okay.
That's objectively a terrible thing to do, but it doesn't make it any less desirable. Like, men still desire Ariana Grande because even though that's a terrible trait, which makes you think, "Ooh, that would be bad long term in a relationship."
Yeah.
Inherently, the thing that attracts us to her has nothing to do with that. On the flip side, you can have, let's say, like an NBA player.
Yeah.
And he treats women terribly, yet he's still got scores of women lining up to date him. Because the status that he has in his life, that's inherently attractive. Now, the fact that he's treating women badly, he shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form.
Of course.
But him treating women badly doesn't affect his status, and he's still getting scores of women coming in.
Here's a question for you, though, just what you're saying. How do you get that status? Because there's people out there who aren't NBA players, who, you know, they have normal jobs.
I mean, I was giving an extreme
okay.
example. It's an
Okay.
extreme example. Basically, it's like this. What men need to learn to do is they have to believe in themselves and they have to know that they have worth. So we live in a world where for a man and a woman to get together, the man needs to make that initial approach 9 times out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah. But most men approach a woman, whether it's online or in the real world, like they're a homeless person begging for change. Like they are taking value.
Yes.
For instance, I've had everyone's had like some homeless person ask for money.
Yeah.
And when they do it like they know they're a nuisance. You can tell that they don't have confidence in themselves asking you for the money.
Yeah.
And the energy is just palpable. However, there's been times when I have had reporters stop me to say, "Hey, hello, sir, would you like to be on TV? We're asking people questions for X, Y, and Z."
Oh, yeah.
Those people do it like they're offering me something. They have a different energy about it because they're thinking, you want to be on TV. Everybody wants to be on TV. You want to be famous. We're giving you the chance to have your 15 minutes. So their whole energy is different. So even when they initially approach you, you're like, "Oh, excuse me, so what's this?"
You know what? I see what you're saying about the approach, but the problem is, and this is for a lot of guys, even myself included, when does it become arrogant? When does it become you coming across a little bit too much and a little bit too confident? Because I feel like some women, they don't want it to feel like this is something you do all the time.
Okay, but the thing is this, you can never be too confident. Arrogance and confidence aren't the same thing. It's not like arrogance is extreme confidence. Arrogance is insecurity masking as confidence, right? You can never be too confident at all. You've got to love yourself. That's like a lie that people say where it's you need to find someone else to complete you. Nah, you're complete already. You are complete, you are whole, you are great. And that doesn't mean that you look down on people or treat them badly. It just means that you know that you have worth. You know you have worth as a human being. That's what it is.
I mean, a lot of it just sounds like a lot of self-confidence and self-worth, because I feel like, especially with a lot of men now, a lot of men are quite down. We all know how high like the suicide rate is amongst men and whatnot. And a lot of that is just down to there's a lack of self-confidence and knowing their worth and whatnot. And you teach all of that as well, right?
Yeah.
There's the whole Do you teach women as well? Do you have any classes?
I've had a couple female clients, yeah.
Now, there's going to be a lot of people at home who are listening to you and are, what's your dating life like?
I mean, okay, so firstly, I am currently in a relationship.
Hey!
And I do believe she's listening right now.
Hold on, before you say.
It's a yes from me.
It's a yes from me there. Okay. How long have you been together for?
Since November.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, I want to ask. Did you approach her? Did you? Can I ask what lines did you use? How did you make it happen?
So we met on Tinder, and here's the thing: most men have zero idea how to use dating apps. Zero, because dating apps, it's kind of like you have to position yourself as being the ultimate option for your target audience, whatever your target audience is. So you have to know, like, what kind of woman do I want to meet? What kind of man do I want to meet? And then what kind of woman or man does a woman or man that I want to meet. And then your profile needs to position you as that. So when they see you, they're like, oh my gosh, look at that person.
Yeah.
So I like women who are intelligent, into spirituality, personal development, that sort of thing. I created an appropriate profile so that women like that would go, oh my gosh, who is this guy? So now, anyway, when we matched on the app, so we matched on Tinder in Bali.
Yeah.
And even
Wow.
yeah, it was in Bali, it was in like November. I forget what I said to her like in the first message, but I do know this. So I looked at her profile and I could see, okay, so again, she's clearly very spiritual. She's almost certainly questioned things like reincarnation and things like that. She spends a lot of time working on herself. We had conversations based on that. I could see that she had an air that most men would find intimidating, but I could also see that she was kind of at peace with that as well. So I spoke to her about that. So our conversations were largely about us reading into each other, as in, you seem like this kind of person. I bet you're like that. Which most men don't do at all. So most men, when they're on a dating app, they just think, do I like the look of this woman? They go, yeah, I like the look of this woman. She looks pretty. And that's it, right? And then they're like, oh my gosh, you're so hot. But like, it's white noise. Everyone's doing that.
That is a good point. Yeah, it is. It does come across very surface level, especially with a lot of guys on dating apps, and you go a little bit deeper. I also think, I mean, matching with somebody in Bali, what a time! No wonder I've had problem. I matched with a girl in Warsaw. No wonder I struggle compared to Bali. Kieran, you're going to be sticking around, right?
I will indeed.
Where can the people find you, and if they want any of your courses or seminars or whatnot?
Okay, so essentially, godtierdating.com. So godtierdating.com if you want to find out about my courses, things like that. If you're on social media, the best one to use would be TikTok, which is again God Tier Dating. But I'm on most platforms under that title.
Now, can you tell me your work rate on TikTok?
Work rate?
Yeah, how much you get done? How many videos you post?
14 per week.
2 videos, is it all based around dating, self-confidence?
100%, yeah.
Wow, 2 a day. I mean, when do you find the time?
I mean, I struggle, but I get it done.
And you're covering sort of dating tips, confidence, I mean, whatever. Do you review things as well, like whatever's happening in the dating world?
I will get into doing that. It's usually things like philosophical conversations about the state of modern dating and men and women and how they misunderstand each other, and actual practical advice that men can use to improve their dating lives. But there's so much, though, because the world of dating for men is very deep and intricate. So we've touched on dating apps. There's the top 20% of men are basically dating about 80% of the women. That's why we have the male loneliness epidemic. The reason why we have that is because we're in a world where there's an elite cadre of men who are basically getting all of the dating access, and most men don't actually stack up. So on a dating app, a man needs to position himself in that top 20%, or just in life in general. But say if we look at your profile, there's certain pictures that you need. You have to take pictures that imply certain traits about you, but also that make it look like you're not trying to show off as well. And most men have no idea.
It's hard.
There you go. Then there's your actual bio. Then there's actually how to message women as well. Most men have no idea how to message women. Yeah. None. But that's one element. Then there's, say, meeting women in bars and clubs and things like that. There's all sorts. It's very, very, very deep and intricate, and it's like a whole labyrinth.
I as you talked about messaging women, I gave a very, very honest yeah. I just saw our producer laughing. Yeah, it is very hard. It is very hard to, especially open. I mean, we're not even talking about dating apps now. On social media. Social media, sliding in the DMs and all that sort of stuff. That's another thing that people are doing that is just...
Would you like to know a little tip, right? For like any man who's listening, right? It's like, how do I slide into a woman's DMs and actually have her like want to give me the time of day? Well, this is what you basically want to do. The first thing is, it's not necessarily about the message you send. I mean, that's part of it. But it's more about you want to be someone who she wants to get messages from. That's the main thing. So like, for instance, right? if she already has a positive impression of you,
Yeah.
she'll get any message from you and go, oh my gosh, it's from him. Wow. So the first thing, because it's like who you are as a person. The reason why men are like trying to sell themselves is because you're trying to sell yourself to women who are either neutral about you or actively don't think you're particularly special. So you're trying to win her over with your wit. Now, yes, win her over with your wit, but the more you do to make sure she has a positive impression of you before you message, the less important it is for you to be witty. That's number one. Number two, if you're actually messaging, a good thing to do is, let's say she posts something on her story, comment on that. Like, comment something related to something that you've seen her do.
You can't just put like you're hot.
Hell no.
No. Okay.
No, hell no.
Whoops.
Hell no.
Oopsie.
Hell no. Because,
Love
again, it's just white noise.
Yes. That's a good point. I can see where I'm going wrong. Kieran, I want you to stick around. Let's do one more song and we can have some more from you, man. I'm learning so much from Kieran. Stay tuned. Oh my God. Kieran, where do you think women are going wrong?
All right. Women go wrong in the sense of women do not treat finding men the same way they treat finding a job. You go, what does that mean, Kieran? Well, I'm about to tell you. So, let's say you got some woman now in Birmingham and she's been laid off. So what's she going to do? She's going to go, I want a job in accounting. So she's going to go, okay, so I need to create a CV. I need a CV that makes me look like a great candidate for an accounting role. And then she's going to go to interviews and she's going to try and prove that she's the best person for that job. What women don't do is, like, say a woman on a dating app, there's a kind of man who would be great for her, but she isn't at all thinking about trying to attract that man on the app at all. So let's say you have a woman who loves to go on nature hikes and things like that, and she loves to be outdoorsy, and she really wants a man like that. If she wants to attract a man like that, she should have pictures of her doing the nature outdoorsy things and speaking about it in her profile. Because what you're doing on a dating site and dating in general is like you're fishing for the kind of person that you want to meet. What women don't do is they don't tailor their profiles at all. They don't really think about what do I do to attract a certain sort of man. They expect that man's just going to come.
Yeah.
So then because like women generally have all of the choice in dating sites. So when dating in general.
Yeah.
So a woman creates a profile, doesn't put thought and effort into the profile itself, then gets random men just coming all sorts, and then she's inundated and she's like, oh, these apps are rubbish, they're terrible. But you gotta like structure it. So I've got a female friend, very close friend, and she was like, Kieran, all the men I'm attracting on these apps are just losers. Why am I attracting all these losers? I took a look at her profile. I was like, well, because you look like a loser on your profile. Basically, like, come on.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to meet successful men. So, okay, well, what kind of woman do you think a successful man's going to want to meet? How about, right, we get all these shots of you in like the baggy, unflattering clothes, just sort of chilling at home. Maybe we have some shots of you in a cocktail dress at a nice bar. Things like this. So you look like the kind of woman who the kind of man you want is actually going to be into. Lo and behold, when she changed it around, like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting so much better matches now. So like that's one way. Another way is not giving. So an issue that women make is, and my mum said this actually. So my mum, hello mother, because I'm sure she's listening.
Hi, Mum.
She was watching some dating show where some woman went on a date and it was nice enough, but she didn't feel a spark, right? And then she comes back and she goes, oh, well, it was okay, but I didn't quite feel it, so I don't want to see him again. My mum, who's in her 70s, was like, well, how on earth can you know if you want to meet, like, get to know someone properly after one date? You surely need more time, because my mum comes from a different era. One issue that women make is that a woman goes on a date with a man, and, like, she's judging him. He's judging her, but she's judging him, and she, like, wants to feel seductive energy. She wants to feel playfulness. She wants to feel all this fire and this spark, right? If that man doesn't deliver in like one date, usually one date, two maximum, she writes him off completely. And it's like, well, if I'm not feeling this now, I'm never going to feel it. And the thing is that a lot of people...
I've done that very recently. I've made that mistake before, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of women are missing out on men who would have been like fantastic fathers of their children because they're judging way too quickly. Because like when man and woman go on a date, man's like often very nervous, right? He's nervous, he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know what to say, etc. That nervousness either translates in some way to energy that the woman isn't really feeling.
Yeah.
And then she feels that energy and then she writes the guy off. So what women would need to do is to basically not write men off so quickly and to get better at like judging which kind of men are worth investing time in.
Yeah.
What I do as a coach is I help men to be the man who's going to hit the ground running in that first date. That's what I do, because this is the situation that we live in.
That is the tip. Yeah, that is what definitely men get wrong. Is you got to hit it running immediately.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand why women are a little bit more, they're a little bit more skeptical at first, and anything that lets them down. I can completely see that. Kieran, you're really dropping. You're dropping dimes here. This is dimes. On the line, we do have Fran. Fran.
Hello, Fran.
Hello.
Hi, Bab. Have you been listening to what Kieran's been saying?
I have, and I do agree with a lot of what he's said.
It's crazy. Now, I have been told that I should pitch myself to you, Fran.
Go ahead.
Okay, can I get a couple of bits of info about you, Fran? Can I get how old you are?
I'm 42.
42. Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Birmingham. From Sutton
Birmingham.
Coldfield.
From Sutton Coldfield. Okay.
Hold on, can you ask Fran if her surname's Horton?
It's probably not Horton, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you could have been an ex. We might have had an ex there. Oh,
You'd be in trouble there.
Fran, you couldn't see his face then. He was generally like, uh-oh, because his girlfriend's living.
Yeah, I grew up in Sutton. So.
Oh, there we go.
And I knew a Fran.
Oh,
Grew up in
okay.
Sutton Coldfield. Fran, I'm going to quickly pitch myself to you. My name is Darren Harriott. I am definitely 6 foot. I have all my teeth. I brush my teeth morning and at night before bed. I would say I'm a very caring person. I'm a lover. I'm a giver. I'm a receiver as well. Okay? Why is everyone laughing? This is serious to me. Okay?
Sorry, yeah.
I'm a very nice guy. I like to watch TV quite often. It'd be nice to find somebody who sits with me and enjoys watching all of the terrible dating shows. I also have a full-time job. I'm a stand-up comedian, but I'm not very funny at home. I'm funny on stage, but when I come home, I'm more of a listener. That is more my thing. I prefer to listen. Fran. Oh, also, I'm very understanding of how the toilet seat should be when you're with a woman, because you have to get it. You have to get it the right way, and I can't remember if it's up or down. I think it's down. Fran, how does that sound?
Okay, you lost me at you brush your teeth twice a day.
What's wrong with? I feel like that's a good in.
That's just a given, isn't it? That's just a given that you do that. You don't need to tell me that you do that.
You're from Sutton Coldfield. It's a given there. Okay. No
Yeah.
offense, but I'm from Oldbury. It's very different.
Okay, so I'm a little bit worried at that point.
We take daily showers in Sutton as well.
No. I'll be honest with you. That's another. You know what, Kieran? I got to be honest with you, Fran, while I'm here. If I'm in all day, I'm not showering, man. I'm not showering. I've done 3 days with the same under. What was that? We lost Fran on the line. Oh, okay. Fran, very quickly, have you ever had any dating disasters at all? What's something that you've had on dates or with guys in the past that you've never quite understood, if there's anything? Because I feel like we've got an actual dating connoisseur on the line.
Oh, okay. Have I had a dating disaster? Or not really a dating disaster, but just the way that guys sort of come across when they're too arrogant. I've had someone tell me their watch was more than I earned in a year.
Who are you dating?
So
Trump?
obviously I was going to run off with him. that was not good.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, I think with your pitch you need to sound a bit more exciting.
Okay.
It sounded a little boring.
Oh, ow. All right. I mean, I have to go to a song now, but I don't want to leave on me just sounding boring and sad.
Can I
What
ask
did
Fran a
Kieran
question?
think of your pitch?
Fran, Kieran's going to ask you a question.
All right, so this guy
Go on.
who said his watch costs more than you earn in a year, am I right in guessing
Yeah, like
that?
to impress me.
Did he
which
say it to
didn't.
impress you, or did he say it because he felt threatened because of something you said? That sounds like a guy being defensive there, like he feels like he's losing you, or he feels like you're disrespecting him, quote unquote, and he's trying to lash out. Do you think that's what was going on? I'm not justifying him saying it. I'm just like trying to get a picture of why those words came out his mouth.
Yeah, I was a bit thrown back by it, so I don't know if he was just trying to overly impress me by how much money he earns.
So, all right, here's what I will
Which
say.
completely threw me off, which I do not find attractive.
So here's what I will say. So most men don't really... If you got a guy who doesn't really have like faith in himself and know that he's actually good and that he has real value, he's often going to try to look to things that he has in order to prove that that's the value that he actually has, if you see what I mean. So it's like... he has all this insecurity and he's in front of a woman and it's, oh my God, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Is she going to like me? Blah, blah, blah. So then he overcompensates by saying, hey, look, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, and I've got this, in an attempt to prove to you how great he is. But then he just ends up...
Or, I'll jump in here, or he's an arrogant idiot. That could have been
Yeah,
it.
could have been.
Nah, but again, but the arrogance comes from the insecurity.
Oh, okay.
This is what I mean. Like,
This is the deeper-
you
this is the deeper thought.
find a man, find a really arrogant man, right, and get under the surface. Under the surface, that arrogant man isn't feeling great about himself. He isn't. The arrogance is his way of masking the fact that he feels terrible.
Kieran.
That man didn't feel good. That man wasn't like, oh yeah, my watch costs more than you earn in a year. Like, he didn't feel fantastic saying that. If you look there's a wounded inner child inside that man that needs a hug.
Kieran, you are killing me. You're dropping so many dimes. By the way, we've done the longest segments we've ever had on this show because you just hearing you speak and what you're saying is absolutely amazing. We got Fran off the line. We were supposed to have another caller. We got rid of them because we didn't need them because you've been so good. Sorry, Dave. Call back anytime. Kieran, before I let you go very quickly, what is your social so people can follow you?
Okay, so again, gonna be God Tier Dating. The best one is TikTok, right? But I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, etc. GODTIERDATING. Now, if you're interested in coaching, then go to godtierdating.com. And yeah, there's a little Calendly form there. You can go to book a call and we'll have a conversation about where you currently are at. And I will map out a framework to get you from where you are right now to where you want to be. And we'll transform your life.
The great Kieran Brown now. Brushing my teeth twice a day. What are you playing at? That's good. That's a positive.